Okay, so you mean that just praying about it and reading a passage in the Bible and putting some tussin on it isn't going to do the job? It's not going to do the trick? Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of House of Ways and Means. It's been a pretty cold few days where we are. There's been some snow. Hopefully you guys are being safe wherever you are in this winter so far. I mean, maybe you're in another continent, in another hemisphere, and it's hot and summertime in there. Yeah, we hate y'all, but thanks for joining us again. So today we want to do a little bit different content from what we've done so far. We're gonna utilize our resident mental health expert here, Ways, today. We're gonna chat with her a little bit about, it's wintertime. People got cabin fever. They're stuck inside. People are feeling a little down maybe because of the weather. Look, I'm talking wrong video. What are you doing? We want to talk a little bit about when you're having these feelings. I mean, what really should be the triggers to let you know that perhaps maybe you should consider looking to get some mental health therapy or find somebody to talk to. So Wade, what do you think some of those triggers are, or some of those questions that you should be asking yourself?
Well, I think the most important thing is to identify and really just be in touch with yourself as to what it is that you're experiencing, what traumas you may be experiencing, what stress you may be experiencing, or if you have any actual emotional symptoms like crying spells, you're feeling anxious, things of that nature. Those things should alert you that something may be going on. And then in addition to that, once you've identified that those things are occurring, you should see if they are affecting some part of your life, whether your life at work, your relationships with others, your home life, maybe your church life if you have that, or just who you feel you are as an individual. If it's affecting you from being your true, full, happy self, then that's where you should get started.
And social life.
Social life as well. If you feel like things, I mentioned relationships, so that would kind of fall under the umbrella of relationships or social life.
Okay, so say you realize that there's something that's affecting you in this way. I mean, is everybody who feels that way, do they need therapy, or is there a certain set of questions they really need to investigate further, just besides how they're feeling and how things are going with how they're interacting with the rest of their lives?
So outside of the question that I've just mentioned before, which is how those symptoms you're experiencing, how it's affecting those various parts of your life, other things that you should ask yourself is, do you need therapy for the long term? I think a lot of people believe that if you go into therapy, it has to be this long process, maybe something that you engage in for the rest of your life, but you may not need all of that. So that's one of the questions, and that's one of the additional questions you can ask yourself, if it's something that you need for a long term, or if maybe you just need a check-in session.
So how would you tell somebody who's dealing with perhaps fear over the idea of having to get therapy? Because we are Black people, in our communities. I mean, I'm sure in many other ethnic communities, this is probably also prevalent, but I can only speak on what I'm aware of, which is our community. I mean, a lot of times people have a fear of being labeled as crazy, and it's almost like the whole family is kind of like, you don't want to be that person because it's going to reflect badly on everybody, or somebody must have failed somewhere along the way. So how do you deal with perhaps feelings of fear about something like that, or is there a confidential way to go about it?
So therapy with a licensed therapist is confidential. You will actually be signing a confidentiality statement that indicates that everything that you talk about cannot be discussed with anyone else. It cannot be published. It cannot be printed. The only way that a therapist can ever describe anything that you have said in a session is if you sign paperwork, which is called a release of information, indicating that you want specific information released to a particular party that has been identified in the paperwork. Now, to address your other questions in regards to the stigma that's attached to receiving therapy, yes, we all know it. Black people, as well as Asians and other cultures, are against receiving mental health therapy. The premise is that anyone who receives therapy are crazy, or they are psychotic, or any of the extreme mental health cases that exist. But the reality is that there are a lot of mental health cases that go untreated that are really important to receive therapy for. So experiencing a loss, whether it's the death of a loved one, a family member, a friend, a spouse, a child, or a loss of a job, something that let's say you were working for 10 years at a particular job and you lost your job just completely out of the blue, that is something that you would need therapy for. There are other things that you may need therapy for if you're experiencing anxiety, driving, or you're experiencing anxiety going over a bridge, or something to the point where it's debilitating to your life. That's something that you need therapy for. If you even recently lost a relationship, maybe a relationship that you thought was going to be long-lasting, and it's truly affecting your productivity at work, it's all you think about, you need relationship therapy for that.
Okay, so you mean that just praying about it and reading a passage in the Bible and putting some tussin on it isn't going to do the job? It's not going to do the trick?
So, prayer works, yes. However, the Lord has blessed people with the skills to provide counseling to meet your therapeutic needs. So don't ever forget that. It's the story of, sometimes you ask for your prayers to be answered and you're looking for it to be answered in one specific way, not considering that a counselor or a therapist could actually be the way for you.
All right, Pastor Ways. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We got some more to come. We talk a little bit more about what next steps should be once you come to the realization that perhaps you do need therapy. So stick with us. Drop a like, comment down below, or hit the subscribe button. We'll see y'all soon.